I thought today I'd go through 10 things that I've learnt in my 20s. Now, I'm nearly 27, so I've had a few years, and all of these 10 things are specifically things I would say that I didn't necessarily know or fully appreciate when I was in my teenage years and childhood. So if you are moving into your 20s or you're in your teenage years, hopefully some of these things will perhaps open your eyes to a new perspective or something like that. And the first thing really is that it's not forever. You know that famous Tom Hanks quote, "This too shall pass." I think that's really important to realize, whether it's something good or something bad, because it's very easy if things are going really well to feel on top of the world and untouchable, as if nothing can possibly go wrong. We've all been there before. Something has happened, things are going well, and you just say to yourself, I don't see how this goes wrong, and inevitably it comes crashing down. It sort of relates back to, I believe it's called the hedonic treadmill. Let me just Google that and make sure I've got the right word. So I'll read out the definition. It says the hedonic treadmill is a psychological theory that suggests people tend to return to a stable level of happiness regardless of positive or negative events. Now, everyone's treadmill, I guess you could say, or state of general happiness is different, but it basically means the highest of the highs, you're going to go back to that sort of state, but also from the lowest of the lows, you're going to return to that baseline. So if you're going through something really terrible, it will pass and you'll get back to that baseline. And also, you've got to take the bad with the good. And the good things wouldn't feel so good if you didn't know what such terrible things felt like. Otherwise, it would all just feel neutral. And that's not what you want. I think you want to feel good things very strongly and bad things very deeply as well. But whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, you can take it for either end, it's going to pass. The second thing I've learned is that nothing really happens after 10 p.m. Nothing worth going to, nothing worth seeing happens after 10 p.m. Now, there are obviously some very minute exceptions. Of the, let's say, dozens of night outs you might have in your 20s, there might be one or two that was truly unforgettable, and you might think if you have a party or something, there are times where staying up late is worth it. But generally speaking, your day-to-day life, you know, that time from 10 p.m. onwards where you might just be scrolling through social media or on your phone, nothing happens. And if you go to bed at 10 p.m., you're not going to miss a thing. A lot of people have FOMO with regards to missing nights out, or if people are playing video games online like their friends and stuff, they won't want to miss it. But honestly, it's not worth it. And nothing happens. You don't miss anything ever. Nothing that you can't address the next morning. The next thing is the importance of nature / exercise. I've combined the two because it's fairly easy to pair the two together, even if it's something as simple as a walk. And I know this can be difficult if you live in a city or in an urban area, but as best you can, just go look at a tree. Just do something. Even if you're inside, just open the curtains and look outside and see what's out there, because it does so much for, I feel like, mental and physical well-being. And exercise, I mean, I could make another video about exercise on its own. It's very important to just get some exercise, whatever it is, just a walk, because once you stop doing that, you will feel bad about it, like physically, mentally, and you might not even realize why at first, but it's not until you start doing just regular little bits of exercise here and there that you realize that it is a big help. I'll probably delve into exercise more in another video, but just touching on that, exercise, it is essential in my opinion. The next one is something I've learned, and it was a trickier one, a bitter one to accept, a bitter pill to swallow, I guess you could say, and that is that it's okay to be wrong. Just apologize. You know, when I was in my teenage years especially, I hated being wrong. I loved being right. And I would even back myself to the point where even if I know I'm kind of wrong, I feel like I'm in too deep and I can't backtrack and I have to persist. I must be right and I'm never wrong and I should never apologize. And something I found sort of into my mid-20s is how much more free you feel when you can apologize for things that you've got wrong, or accept that you've done wrong, or just simply say, I don't know. I don't know the answer, or my bad, I was wrong, I'm sorry, or I want to learn, can you teach me? It's accepting that you aren't the best. Just accept that it's okay to be wrong. I really struggled with that. I think genuinely as a kid and into my teenage years, there was sort of a thing in my family and even with some of my friends and people closest to me that Matt's never wrong, even though obviously I was many times. I just really struggled to accept it, and it's something I suppose I'm still working on in some areas, but for the most part, I'm much better at it these days, and people don't think less of you for being wrong because everyone gets things wrong. So if you are in the wrong, apologize, and you will feel so much better about it. And it makes things not matter as much. If you feel like you can never be wrong, you have this kind of perfectionist attitude and it's stifling. So it's okay to be wrong and just apologize. The next thing that I've learned is that people talk, but no one cares. So I'm not going to go as far as to say literally no one cares, people aren't going to talk about you. They absolutely are. People that have known you in their life, people that remember you, if you do post something online, people are going to see it and they might talk. I know for a fact people from my school have had conversations about me when I'm not there. I know that whether that's about my job as a YouTuber or maybe other things, people do talk, but despite that, no one actually cares. It's all just gossip at the very most. So people are probably, they've probably talked about you, but they don't actually care. They might make a comment, they might see something you've posted, literally make a statement and then move on. So people will talk, but no one actually cares. So whatever it is you want to do, don't not do it for the sake of what other people will think, because yeah, they might talk, but they don't actually care. The next one is a big one. It's something that I have to remind myself to this day, and that is that you know the problem. If there's something wrong in your life, chances are you know the reason why. You might just be in denial, but you know the problem. Let's say you're feeling really groggy. You know the reason is that you can't sleep, and you know that that is because you stay up till 3 a.m. scrolling on your phone. You do know the problem. Sometimes it's difficult to address that, but you know the problem and therefore you're a step closer to the answer, and that can help you fix things. So everything that's sort of going wrong in my life, as and when it comes up, for the most part, I know why. And it's whether or not I'm ready to take action to stop it. Because sometimes you might know the problem, but might not be quite ready or in the mental headspace to tackle that problem. And that's okay too. But whatever it is, whether you can fix it in this moment or not, you do know the problem. The next thing I've learned is that friends aren't forever, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong, there are some that will come into your life, stay in your life forever and be really, really good friends. But a lot of the friends, especially the people from school and from work, for example, which is why I think this is so key in your 20s. In your teenage years, you might think, I'm going to know these people forever. But friends, for the most part, aren't forever, and that's okay. You can make new friends, and a lot of friends from school, for example, you realize were sort of friends through circumstance and convenience. And without the effortless friendship of meeting up at school every day, you're just not great friends, and that's fine. That's not to say you don't think of your old friends fondly and you wouldn't say hello if you saw them in the street, but with regards to maintaining a friendship in your 20s, you can't do that with as many people as you could when you were at school, basically. I've got like a core group of my closest friends of less than 10 people, and even them I don't see frequently. I've moved far away relatively to how close we used to live. We still talk every now and again, but I don't see them as much as I'd like. And they're my closest friends. So a lot of those friends that you just said, yeah, they're my friend, they're not going to be forever, but that is fine. I might combine the next two. One thing I've learned to do is to enjoy the little things, and the second thing is be present, which kind of allows you to enjoy those little things. I think if you meet up with someone, say a friend, don't go on your phone. With me, I do think this is something I'm actually very good at. If I'm dedicating my time to that thing, I am present. So for example, recording this video, I don't have my phone on loud so that if I get a phone call or a notification, it will distract me from what I'm doing. I'm here. This is what I've chosen to do. Try not to split your time apart in too many ways. If you've gone to meet someone and they are giving you their time, at least be present and give them your time back. And that enables you to enjoy the little things. If you go on that nature walk that we spoke about earlier and you're truly present, you can enjoy the feeling of the wind on your face, the sun on your skin, the sound of the birds, all those sorts of things, and it makes everything more enjoyable. And linking back to the nothing happens after 10 p.m. thing, nothing really happens ever. Nothing that important that can stop you being present. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, be present in what you're doing and what you're choosing to do, and it will allow you to enjoy the day-to-day much, much more. And the final thing that I would say that I've really, really learned is that if you want to be liked or leave a good impression on someone for whatever reason, then simply ask them questions and just forget about yourself. And I've found when I meet new people, rarely does anyone have anything bad to say. I've yet to actually experience that, to be honest, and I know maybe they wouldn't tell it to my face, but a lot of new people I've met in my 20s only seem to have good things to say about me, and I think that's because, one, I'm very present in the interactions, but two, I'm making a conscious effort to lead and ask them questions. And for the most part, even if you are desperate to talk about yourself, if you ask them questions, they might throw it back to you. Even if they ask the exact same question back, just as like a form of politeness, they will probably ask back. But if you're the one leading, asking questions about them and asking follow-up questions based on what they've said, and you're showing that you're listening, people will think of you fondly and you will be liked. That's not everything, but if you want to be liked, ask people questions, be present, and take a genuine interest in them. So those are 10 things I've learned in my 20s. I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments if anyone sees this, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.